Okay, dear Dhamma friends, so we are going to start the first question and answer session in this meditation retreat. Hope you can listen to me. Can you hear me? Can't. Maybe you remove that color. Can you all hear me now? That cover also has to be removed. Yes. I hope now it's okay. Now you all can hear, no? Right. Good. So I think we may have few questions. Okay. So we'll start with the written questions.
Most Venerable Sir, today we have 3 questions on meditation and 1 general question. So for the benefit of the newcomers, we would appreciate if you could give a brief introduction to walking and sitting meditation.
Yes. So here actually in these meditation sessions, we are more giving emphasis on the mindfulness. So there is no much emphasis on the concentration, because concentration happens as a result of mindfulness. So if you pay more attention to mindfulness, if your focus is to develop mindfulness as a result, definitely you will be able to gain concentration. So don't keep a kind of a target like you are attaining some kind of jhana or some kind of maggapala, but just keep a very little or very simple objective, like we are going to improve my mindfulness. So we are basically using 2 main postures for that. Actually all 4 postures we can use, but in general 2 major postures are used. So first of all, walking posture. So typically we think that meditation is sitting. So typically sitting meditation is what people think as the meditation, but not only that, we are getting the help with walking meditation as well. So anyway, so let's start with walking sitting meditation. There what we do is first of all, you have to have a comfortable posture, in the sense your sitting posture has to be fairly comfortable, not in a tight, stiff posture, but it has to be a very relaxed posture. So it is all right to spend couple of minutes to settle down. So sit cross-legged if possible. So if it is not possible, it is all right to use a chair. But if it is too comfortable, you may easily fall asleep. So therefore, don't make it too comfortable, and on the other hand, not too stiff or too tight, too difficult. So it has to be kind of in between, so that you feel comfortable. And as a advice, I would like to say, don't lean to walls, because easily as you lean to walls, and sometimes you may even stretch your legs, so that within a few minutes you will fall asleep. So it is not advisable to lean onto walls, but meditation cushion is all right. It is not a extremely comfortable chair, but a typical chair where it allows you to sit straight. So in the posture, you have to keep your keep your head straight, and keep your back also straight. It is not so tight like kind of a robo. It is not that type of tight posture. But at the beginning it is all right. You keep your head straight, looking not up or down, but in a kind of a comfortable way that you can maintain your head in a relaxed way. So with time, your back might adjust it. That's all right. Don't try to force your body to maintain kind of 90-degree angle. It is not the most comfortable posture. It may be the ideal posture, but it is not the most appropriate posture. So during the meditation, if your body, through its own body knowledge, if it's doing some slight adjustments, allow it. Don't try to force it to maintain kind of 90-degree angle. So once you sit comfortably, so you can feel that there are others also sitting comfortably, others are also trying to be mindful, so they all are friends, so you can be feeling safe in this place. So there is no one kind of hinting, or there is no one insulting, there is no one disturbing, all are trying to do their best. So just have a kind of sympathetic feeling among everybody, and have a kind of a friendly atmosphere, friendly sort of well-being in your heart. So once you have this kind of comfortable posture and the relaxed mindset, then you can check whether, going through certain places where your body touches the cushion. Maybe buttocks are touching, your legs are touching each other. If you are keeping your hands on top of each other, then hands are touching each other. So you spend a couple of minutes to sort of scan through the body, so that you are coming back to the present moment. So typically our mind either stay in the past or in the future. So what we are now trying to do is to take it back to the present moment. So what I have explained so far are some very basic methods which help us to come back to the present moment. So sit comfortably, and then have a well relaxed mind, and then check what are the touching points. So when you go through the touching points, you may feel some kind of tightness, roughness, toughness, softness, heaviness. Like that you may feel certain signs which indicates that you are fairly mindful. And when you did that, later you check whether your mind is in the past or in the future. So if the mind is in the past, just let go the past, because past has already happened. So there is no way we can drag it back, pull it back. So just let it go. So even if the really interesting, really important thing come into your mind related to the past, just let it go. Don't linger into it. Just if you need, you can say comment it or note it as memory, or thinking, or something like that. Whatever make yourself devaluing the past. Don't give any importance to the thought which related to the past. Just devalue it, undervalue it, neglect it. And again, you might get really interesting future plan. You may be thinking about few years in the future. So most important plan may be in your mind. But at this moment, remember, we can't do anything. So you are dedicated at the moment to live in the present moment. So that is the sole idea of this meditation program. So therefore, even the most important plan coming to your mind, just let it go. So you can note it also as planning, so that you are giving less value to the thought pattern, less value to the stream of thoughts. So don't grab it, don't have any interest of future planning. So if you are able to do this, so your mind has to come into the present moment. So you are not in the past, not in the future, but in the present moment. And present moment may not be so comfortable. So don't expect it has to be fully blissful or really relaxing. Don't expect that immediately. You may feel relaxed in the long run, but at the beginning, the very moment you be mindful, what you may feel could be pain of the body, could be kind of uncomfortable feeling of the body, kind of scratching, itching, heaviness, roughness, toughness. Those kind of some uncomfortable feelings actually indicates that you are mindful. So take it as a advantage. Don't look it down. I mean, even though they are uncomfortable, even though they are little suffering, accept it as something indicating you are in the very present moment. So take it as a positive sign, because when you are thinking about the future or in the past, your thoughts may be really interesting, but you are not in the present moment. So at the moment, if you are in the present moment, even though you may feel some uncomfort, still you are present. So take it as logically think it, logically understand it, and give fair value to it. So when you are experiencing some uncomfortable feeling, if you are not in the past and the future, just accept it, just welcome it. So, and again, once you are in the present moment, check whether you are thinking about someone else. So you should not think about someone else also. So you should come back to yourself. So this retreat, it's only for yourself. Don't think about the others. Don't think about your parents, whoever the spouse, young loved ones. So just be with yourself. And once you are in the present moment with yourself, don't check about the other places. Just be with this very body. Just a very small, say 6 foot body. So if you are able to establish this way, here now I am, then that indicates that you are fairly mindful. So once you are mindful, be like that for a couple of minutes. So if relaxing, let it happening, not doing any kind of control, just acknowledging whatever it is. So then you may start feeling some kind of abdominal movement or kind of in-breath and out-breath. So these two are major meditation objects that we typically take. Either in-breath and out-breath or the movement of the abdomen, rising and falling. So if you can fairly get some kind of signs of these two, so keep your mind in that. On the other hand, for some, the posture itself is a good anchoring point for the mind. But in the long run, you may get some understanding about either rising and falling or in-breath and out-breath. So if you can feel one of those, so keep one of those as your main meditation object. Don't try to use both, just one. If you are comfortable, if you can feel as you breathe in, your stomach, your abdomen feel rising to the front. It is moving to the front. So keep your attention to that movement. And after a while, it may contract, it may come back, it may returns. So it is falling. So be aware about that falling. So this sort of natural phenomena, this natural process, rising and falling, as your meditation object, you are maintaining. You are not doing some kind of forceful breathing, but you are simply allowing the body to breathe and you are being aware of it. So similarly, if you are able to be aware of in-breath and out-breath, so while in-breath happens, you may feel some kind of sensation at your nostril. So keep your attention to the nostril area, not necessary to be exact point, not necessary to be a pinpoint, but this area, at this area, nostril area. So you may feel some kind of sensation as you breathe in. So it may be cool, it may be hot, it may be rubbing sensation, it may be soft sensation, like that you may feel some kind of sensation. Try to catch that, try to be aware with it. And then again, when you are breathing out, similar kind of sensation might occur. So be aware of that. So if you can maintain your awareness, your attention, either to rising and falling or in-breath and out-breath, so that is a good indication as a beginner that you can maintain mindfulness. While you are trying this, your mind obviously may go to some other objects. So that is the nature of the mind. So accept that. Don't curse yourself. Don't hate yourself. Because that is the nature of the mind. till we progress, till we develop our mind, it is a monkey mind. So that is what we are trying to do. So we are trying to tame the mind. We are trying to behave the mind. So acknowledge at the moment, I don't have a tame mind. I don't have a calm mind. I don't have a relaxed mind, but kind of stressed mind, jumping mind, monkey mind. But if you acknowledge it, then after you feel kind of acknowledgement, after you feel kind of embracing it, accepting it, then you again feel comfortable. Again you may able to establish mindfulness. Once you are able to establish mindfulness, carry on from that point. Don't regret about what has happened in the past. Say you are being mindful for couple of cycles, rising, falling, and then distracted, gone to somewhere else. Suppose you may be wandering for a couple of minutes, doesn't matter. After the very moment it able to come back, from that point be mindful. Don't worry about what has happened. Be mindful from this very moment and continue. So if you can do this, so then slowly you'll be able to enlarge this period and lengthen this period, so that you'll be able to mindful for 5 minutes, for 6 minutes, for 10 breaths, 12 breaths, 15 breaths, 20 breaths, like that. Say, keep your objective also like that. Not too very high objectives, but at the moment if you are able to be mindful about 10 breaths, try to make it 12 breaths. Try to make it 15 breaths. Give some kind of comfortable target, easy target. So then you will be able to generate some happiness that you are able to do it, because it's a possible thing. So we haven't spent time to do it. So that's why we can't do it. Now we are sort of dedicated ourselves to do it. So therefore give a comfortable target and try to be mindful. I feel it is enough for the sitting meditation. Similarly in the walking meditation, so you go to the walking path and then you go from this end to the other end couple of times, so that you will be familiar with the walking path. So after that, you can keep your hands at the front like this, or at your back like this. So kind of doing this kind of swaying might not be easy at the beginning. So it is advisable, it is better to keep hands without movement at your front or at your back. So after that, so while doing the typical walking, same speed, there is no high speed, there is no low speed, but the typical speed that you are walking. So let the body walk in the typical speed, and when your sole touches the floor, just note it as, say, left. Then your right feet touches the floor, note it as right. So very simple, keep it very simple. So this simplicity is utmost important. So don't complicate the meditation, don't have any kind of formula for meditation, just keep utter simplicity. If you can maintain this simplicity, you'll be able to concentrate very soon. So while walking, so try to be aware of the touch sensation of your sole, of your fingers, of your heel. So likewise, you are sort of being aware of these little touching places, various sensations, and not only the touching, but then your, say, weight may be transferring from this leg to the other leg. You may feel certain kind of sensations in your calf muscles, maybe at your knees. So likewise, various things are there, informations are there. So try to be aware of those things. So if you are able to catch little of this information, that indicates you are very mindful. So that is about the walking meditation. So if you need more clarifications, feel free to ask. So I feel this is enough at the moment. So if continue walking and sitting meditation, and raise the questions if you have. Yes.
Most Venerable Sir, the first question. I am an absolute beginner to meditation. As I try to concentrate on the breath, I find that I see colors, different shapes, shifting of sceneries, and my focus is no longer on the breath. Is this normal? And please advise as how I should get about this. Walking meditation.
One moment. Yeah, we'll first answer that. So, some yogis actually have this nature of seeing various things. Certain visualizations happen to them. So, main advice is don't follow that. Don't pay your attention to any of those visualizations. So, they may be real or they may be unreal. So, don't give any attention or any importance to this, any of the signs. Signs are really deceiving us. It is a kind of a distraction for the meditation. So even if you see various colors, just try to keep your attention on breath. So try to behave the mind. So it may be really interesting. It may be sort of multi-colored, but try to pull it back. I mean, try to pull your attention from those external things, external signs, and try to keep attention on your breath.
Walking meditation. I feel that my concentration is more on the internal, within brackets, mechanical movements of the joints, etc. Aspects of walking. Take off the foot, the moving of the foot are perfectly felt and perceived. However, once the foot touches the ground, I feel I lose my concentration and I don't perceive sensations thereon. And immediately my concentration jumps to the joint works of the next foot. Is this correct? Your guidance and advice, please. Thero Saranai.
So it is all right. So if you feel you can't pay your attention to the touch sensation at the sole, it doesn't matter, because your attention is at the knees. It's okay, because it is more predominant than the touch sensations happening at the sole. So it depends on the yogi. So there is no rule that everybody has to give attention to sole, or fingers or heel. But if your attention is within the calf muscles or knees or even at the hip bone or whatever, so typically it is the lower part of the body. During walking meditation, it is quite all right. So the idea here is whatever is predominant, whatever is more clear, easy to pay attention. So those are the attention or the anchoring point for the mind. So it is not necessarily to be your soul.
Most Venerable Sir, during sitting meditation, I commence with concentrating on the stomach, within brackets, pimbima hakilim. After a while, when I experience an element, should my concentration be on the element or on the anapanasati or pimbima hakilim?
Yes. So if you are doing rising and falling, so don't pay your attention to the nostril area. So take one of these as your primary object. So either anapanasati, which happens at the nostril area. I mean, typically we keep our attention at nostril area for anapanasati, in breath and out breath. But rising and falling, we keep our attention at the abdominal area or abdomen, where as you breathe in, your abdomen may move to the front. So you have to be aware of the complete cycle. Say, as you breathe in, so it may slowly start. You may feel the movement. So after fair amount of movement, it stops. And then the falling cycle begins. So you have to be aware of this beginning of the falling cycle, the middle of the falling cycle, the end of the falling cycle. Then there may be a kind of a gap. Then again the rising cycle begins. So the beginning of the rising cycle, the middle of the rising cycle, the end of the rising cycle. So as you are able to maintain fully, keep your attention fully to this rising and falling, your attention may slowly go to certain elementary characteristics, as this question explains. So it may be stiffness If it may be simple movement, it may be vibration, it may be tightness. So these are the sort of basic characteristics of the elements. So if you are coming to that, don't pay attention to rising and falling, because now you are in the elementary level, elements level. So it's a kind of a progress. So don't again do some kind of noting like rising, falling, like that. You have to drop it. So you need to understand at the beginning the mind is distracting, mind is not calm. Therefore you are doing noting, rising, falling, it helps. But later on, if your mind is capable of paying attention to rising and falling by itself, without any kind of noting, labeling, then do it without labeling or noting, which is more relaxing. It's a pure observation. You are just, body or abdomen is simply moving forward, so you are simply being aware of it. Then the sensation may increase at the middle and then again decrease at the end. Then there's a relaxed point, and then again the falling cycle begins. Slowly the sensation increase, and then again comes to the threshold and again starts reducing, and at the end it's finished. So just observe it. So without any kind of labeling. Once you are able to do that, once you are comfortable or satisfied or successful in doing that, then your attention may go only to movement, for example, only to tightness, only to stiffness. So these are the element characteristics of the elements. So if your attention slowly going to that area, that's quite alright. That's the progress in the meditation. So you need to understand it. So don't go back to rising and falling. Rising and falling is in the conceptual level, but now you are in the very sort of characteristic level of the elements. So it is purely for elements meditation. So be with that. Yes.
Theruvan Saranai, Avasarai Swamin Wahansa, walking meditation. This is further to the instructions given by you to a question raised by me. As instructed, I practiced walking meditation with my hands apart, within brackets, as we normally walk. And I felt very comfortable and my concentration improved immensely. Let me take this opportunity to show my gratitude for the advice given. Second question. Venerable Dhammajiva Thero always advises to practice walking meditation on the sand path or Lanupadura, which I followed. However, today I realized that walking on the cement floor also improves concentration as well. Since at home I have to practice on the tile floor, please advise whether I could continue to do so.
Yes. So the first question related to the swaying of the hands, keeping hands in a relaxed position. So if you are able to do it, no problem at all. So for beginners, sometimes we advise to keep hands without movement at the front or at the back, so that you may not get distracted due to the movement of the hands. But with time, you may be able to maintain attention at the touching points or whatever the sensations happening at the lower part of the body, even while the hands are moving. So even when you are seeing various things, even when you are hearing various things, still you are able to maintain attention. So that's an improvement. So don't go back and keep your hands like this as a beginner. But if you are comfortable with the hands in a relaxed position at your sides, just do that. No problem at all. I mean, it is more kind of individual basis. So sometimes as a general instruction, we can say you need to keep your arms in a steady position without movement. But with time, you can test yourself. You can do further relaxing of your hands and keep it on your sides. So it may be even comfortable. So it's quite all right. So the second question related to this lanupadura, the koya mat or the cement floor. So basically we need to use what we have. So if you have say tile floor, and it is also very interesting because in the sand path you get a different texture. You may have a gross feeling at your toes, at your sole, at your heel. But when you are walking on the tile floor, you may get a very soft, very smooth feeling. So you can understand this difference, and sometimes walking on the tile floor further improves the concentration because it's the variation is very less. Unless in the sand floor you have a fair variation, in the tile floor the variation is very less. So you get a same kind of object again and again. So it can improve concentration. So you can enjoy it actually. So therefore no problem at all. There is no disadvantage. So you just if you are at your home, if you have a tile path, just use it. So no problem. Yes.
Venerable Sir, this is a general question regarding Vijnana. Venerable Sir, I have heard that in dependent origination, it is said that at one stage the Vijnana turns back. I am not quite sure what is the cause for Vijnana to turn back. Could you, Sir, please explain? Thero Saranai.
Actually, in the dependent origination, in the Paticcasamuppada, so Buddha explains sometimes from the say starting from the say jati, that is the beginning or the arising, and then what is the cause for jati, for the arising in this life, and then taking the that cause, then going to the other cause. So like that it is coming in the descending order, and then ultimately come to a position where nama rupa causes the vijnana, and that is the nama rupa, name and form, causes the consciousness, and consciousness causes the nama rupa. So there's a kind of a interdependence between consciousness and the nama rupa, the name and form. So this is a very interesting point. So if you are looking at Mahapadana Sutta, comes in Sutta Nipata, and again in Mahanidana Sutta, which comes in the Digha Nikaya. So this very point is very comprehensively explained by Buddha. And Most Venerable Katakurunda Jnanananda Bhante has explained this very point very deeply, because it's a kind of a miss point for many years. So, but it's a extremely interesting, extremely crucial point. That is, Namarupa is the cause for Vijnana, and Vijnana is the cause for Namarupa. There's an interrelationship, interdependency between Namarupa and Vijnana, the name and form and the consciousness. So you can think it like this. Now, say, if there is a curtain, say, in a completely dark area, suppose there is a white curtain, then you can't see it because it's entirely dark. Suppose you are putting a light to this curtain which is white, and suppose it's a kind of a projection of a human being. So this projection in a way helps to see that there is a curtain available, and because it produces some kind of light. And on the other hand, this curtain helps to project the form, the shape which we have projected to the curtain. So it's an interdependence. The light produced helps to show us that there is a curtain, there is a kind of a cloth, whatever thing, and the presence of the cloth, presence of the curtain helps to reflect the light. Therefore, it's an interdependence. So similarly, whenever some kind of nama rupa appears in the vijnana, in the consciousness, it shows that the consciousness is present. And because of the consciousness, this nama rupa is reflected. So it is interdependent. So till we have, and this is one of the most tricky point. And through meditation, particularly through Chittanupassana and Dhammanupassana, one may understand it. One may realize it very deeply. And unless you can fade away this nama rupa, unless you are able to remove all the signs, remove all the objects, you won't be able to remove the appearance of the consciousness. So it is a kind of a deep subject. So we can discuss maybe on tomorrow or day after tomorrow. It's one of the most interesting subject in Vipassana meditation, because ultimately the goal of Vipassana meditation is to have a kind of consciousness which is not dependent on nama rupa. So typically consciousness is dependent on nama rupa, and it is what we call as a fabricated consciousness, sankata vijnana. But on the other hand, so when someone is able to develop the mind without taking signs, doing fair vipassana, doing letting go, one would be able to let go all the objects, so that there is a kind of consciousness appear which is kind of unestablished consciousness, what you call as apatithita vijnana. So it's a kind of a deep subject. So don't don't confuse yourself with this stuff at this moment. So these are some, just relax yourself. Don't put any formula to the mind. So just relax. Just keep your attention to left and right, in breath and out breath, and be comfortable. And maybe in the future, maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow, we can discuss further about these things. Yes. So the written questions are over. So if you have any other questions, we can answer, or else we can wind up this session. Okay, I think you all are familiar with the instructions. So keep more attention on awareness, mindfulness, and don't think about various other things. So just for a couple of days, try to be with yourself. So don't discuss among yourself, don't talk among yourself. So keep a silent environment, a comfortable environment, friendly environment, and make use of this opportunity. I think these 3 days will help you to develop your mindfulness. That will ultimately help you to further develop all the other faculties. So I wish you all the best in the coming few days. So I wish that you may get the maximum benefit from this retreat. Thank you very much.